Welcome. It's so good to be with you again. Well, what do I have for us today? Here's something. I bought a computer. Yeah, right. Big deal there. Now, why did I buy this? It's obviously another Power Mac G4. I have plenty of those. I bought it largely out of curiosity and because it was very cheap. Cheap because the seller sold it as a parts machine. Although from his description and from uh, the pictures that he included, the machine works fine. He sold it as a parts machine because there's a password on the user account. Well, that's immaterial to me. If I can't get into it, I'm just going to wipe the hard drive and reinstall the OS anyway. So I figured, okay, if we pick this up, worst case scenario, I'll do that and then just flip it as a working machine and make a couple of bucks and buy something else. Uh, Now, from the look of it there, pardon those cards sitting down there, uh, it's obviously a Power Mac G4, and because of the grayish bluish, looks more blue on the screen, but from here it looks more gray. Uh, it's going to be one of three. Either a Yikes, which was the first Power Mac G4, which used the same logic boards as the blue and white G3s, or a Sawtooth, which had AGP graphics, or it might be a Gigabit Ethernet. All three of them had that exact same exterior case. So yeah, I'm curious. Why don't we take a look? Stay tuned. Okay, clearly a very typical early Power Mac G4. Uh, we'll look on the back. Yeah, and it's got those usual ports: the two FireWire 400s, Ethernet, two USB 1.1, microphone, audio in, audio out, power, and the pass through. Now those disappeared. The pass through for the monitor, largely because of Apple's flirtation with the Apple Display Connector port, which made that unnecessary. But even once they used that, they never went back to it. Kind of too bad, 'cause this was a handy feature. All right. Now, graphics card. Okay, it does have the ADC port here and VGA. Missing slot cover there. I have one, I'm sure. And let's see, appears to be phone jacks. Okay, and yeah. Yeah, I mean, those are phone jacks and data and link. I don't really know what that is, but regardless, I'm pretty sure that it's pointless. Now, you may notice here that the locking mechanism is pulled out. The reason I did that, and one negative that this thing has, I discovered in carrying it upstairs that the side door simply comes open even without pulling the latch. I'm not sure what's up with that. We can take a look. All right, yeah, it's a Gigabit Ethernet. Has to be. And the reason I say that, the first of all, you can see the AGP slot right there, so it clearly isn't a Yikes, and I'd recognize the logic board. Um, Now, the Sawtooth, it's basically the same board as a Sawtooth, but it would have an internal built-in FireWire 400 port right there. So this is a Gigabit Ethernet. Uh, and also the 4 RAM slots. If it were, anything after the gigabit Ethernet, at least the digital audio and the Quicksilver would only have 3. Why Apple did that, I really don't know. All right, this huge heatsink, which is for the dual processor card. We can see there graphics card. Okay, yeah, it's an ATI Rage 128 Pro. That's the stock graphics card. It's not gonna power the Apple Cinema display. I might I've got several other graphics cards. I might put another one in there just for test purposes since it's right here. And then this thing. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's got 2 hard drives in there. Optical drive, no zip drive in the second bay. All right. Well, so that's the inside of it. We need to try to boot this thing up and see what it does. So stay tuned. Well, okay, I've done an excellent job here of giving you a good view, in the process blocking my access to input devices. But let's power it on and see what happens. Okay, it chimed. I didn't plug the speaker in because we pretty much know what's going to happen here. Okay, yes, I did swap the graphics card, by the way, so we are able to get display here on the Apple Cinema display. Taking its time. And I can hear that hard drive clicking away in there. All right. Pretty sure this is going to be Tiger. All right, so it wants a name and a password. Huh? Sal Mac MT Hayes. All right. Not a surprise. So, I'm awfully glad I did this. This is an old G Technologies hard drive. There's a laptop hard drive in there. I'm assuming I've never opened the enclosure. And this was before I discovered the wonderful world of modern FireWire enclosures where you can put SSDs in. But, we've got Leopard, Tiger, and OS 9. This machine may not boot Leopard, which would be okay, but it will boot either OS 9 or Tiger. So I'm going to restart. Hold down the Option key. Now, hopefully this is going to give the boot manager. The Sawtooth, yes, it did. The Sawtooth can be, and of course this is gigabit Ethernet, but it can too, a little picky about the boot manager. All right, so let's pick. Oh, we gotta wait for it to load things up here. Okay, now we do, so we can pick Tiger on the FireWire drive and start up in Tiger. is taking its time. I'd be curious just to see the specifications on it. All right. Starting by Tiger again, somewhat more quickly. This is probably, even though it is a mechanical hard drive, it's probably a faster drive than the built-in ones. There are 2 drives in there. Okay. Your computer's clock is set to a date. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we see the 4 FireWire partitions: OS 9, Leopard, Tiger, and the data partition, which was everything left. Main HD, second HD. Okay, we can explore that a little bit. How about this Mac? Dual 450 megahertz power PCs. Okay, it's a dual processor, but this is the low spec. Yeah, I guess it is a sawtooth. It's the gigabit Ethernet sawtooth, and 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. I may have some. In fact, I'm sure I have some other RAM modules that could go into this. I may just stick them in because otherwise they're just sitting out there. All right, more info. Power Mac G4, Power Mac 3, 3. And the 2 450 megahertz. There were, and I'm talking right off the top of my head, but yeah, I think they came in 450, 500, and 550. All dual CPUs. Okay. ATA. So we got a Quantum Fireball and a Western Digital. Find out something about them. Okay, the Fireball, yeah, that's probably the original drive. It's a 30 gigabyte drive. And then another 30 gigabyte drive. So pretty minimal there. Nope. So it's a DVD and CD reader, but it won't burn anything. I'm curious about the PC. Okay, now that's funny because there is a PC card in there. I had expected to be able to, there won't be any PC cards. I had really expected to see some information, so I guess that card that's in there is non-functional, I guess. Okay, we know there's no airport because I looked on the inside of the thing. Memory. Yeah, 512. All right. And I'll be glad when the weekend is over. Is there anything in here in second HD? Whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, this is all gonna get wiped, doesn't it? One of the first things I usually do is make the mouse cursor bigger. Applications. It's interesting. Internet Explorer is one. Okay. Bill's sewing machine repair. Okay, that's a business computer, evidently. And Capella. Starts weekly Broom Bill. So the guy who owned this is named Bill, obviously. All right. Landlording. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna look at this anymore, really. Downloads. eCotch. Floppy disk archive. Okay. Long time computer user. barcode automator single license. Okay, yeah. Business computer, clearly. All right. And okay, I am going to go into system preferences. And let's check on universal access, now known as accessibility. Mouse. No, what we want is hearing. No, seeing. Enhance contrast, enable. There should be an option to make the mouse bigger, the mouse cursor bigger. Oh yeah, it's the maximum speed for difficulties in seeing the mouse. Yeah, that's it, it's under mouse. That's a little extreme. But yeah, I won't keep losing it now. Alrighty then. I'm gonna take a look in main. It's interesting how they've got it colored yellow. Developer, no OS 9 obviously. Users, Bill, intern, yeah, clearly. Mitchell, the co-owners of the business. Applications are in here. Adobe After Effects, Adobe Illustrator, okay, Photoshop, Cinema Tools, I'm not familiar with that. DivX Converter, DivX Player, DVD Player, Firefox, iDVD, which is non-functional, iTunes, fairly recent iTunes, Dreamweaver. Oh Lord, there was a time before I started hand coding, I used Dreamweaver, and I made a bunch of websites in Dreamweaver. It was a pretty decent program back when Macromedia had it. Adobe bought out Macromedia and destroyed a lot of things. Okay, Microsoft Auto Update, so there's Office 2004 is on this. R Browser Lite, whatever the heck that is. Reading Pro, Sherlock. Yeah, I found that the other night. I was looking in Tiger, and Sherlock was on there. That was the first Intel Mac Mini, and I was a little surprised because the previous owner had Sherlock in there, and I don't know who would have used, but I discovered then when I went back to check on it that Sherlock was still included in Tiger. I don't know who used it. The Spotlight is far, far superior than Sherlock, even the Tiger version of it. Okay, so there's the Learning Company. That sounds familiar. Oregon Trail. That's why it's so familiar. Oh, golly. Oregon Trail. Will it actually launch? So it would need the Oregon Trail 5 CD. I may be able to find an image for that. That might be fun, since this does not have, I'm quite sure I didn't see an OS 9 system folder. No, we don't want to start. Well, yeah, startup disk. yeah, we can see the only OS 9 is the one that's on the FireWire drive. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Having this FireWire disk has been invaluable. I mean, so I can get in here, see what's on here, and I've got my installer drive as well, so I'll be able to quite easily reinstall Tiger. I'm okay. I'm in here. I'm curious. Is it going to boot Leopard? Depends on the on the firmware. Uh, if it's had the firmware update, it'll be able to boot Leopard. If it hasn't had the firmware update, it won't. It'll kernel panic. I discovered that installing. Yeah, actually, it was my other now gigabit Ethernet. Okay. It's doing this. Let's see if it panics. Going slowly. With this graphics card that I did put in there, it should be able to run Leopard. Yeah, it's booting Leopard, all right. So it has had that that firmware update. Okay. I'm not going to put Leopard on it. That would be crazy if I'm going to resell the thing. All right, computers. Yeah. I know about the clock. Yeah, I'll if I'm going to resell the thing, I've got to put another PRAM battery in there. Okay. So this is this kind of mystery machine that we've had here. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at it, and I really hope that this has been of interest to you. I don't know that I'll bring back anything else on this machine. I might, depends on what I end up deciding to do with it, but there's no real point in keeping it. Well, okay, in any event, be good to other people. Be good to yourselves. Take very, very good and careful care in these difficult times. And we're going to see you real soon, of course.